Hey good people, and welcome back to the channel. As of lately, I've been on a roll with these unpopular opinion videos, and in a few moments, I will share the final unpopular opinion video for the week, and this opinion is coming from the new TV series Kindred, which you can catch on Hulu. So for everybody out there, please sit back, buckle up, and prepare to agree or disagree with what I'm about to say. Now imagine coming home from a long day's work, heating up one of those Hungry Man dinners, and you think happy thoughts as the complex flavor profile of the gourmet meal is tickling your taste buds. Then out of nowhere, you start to feel a little dizzy, and before you know it, you're transported back in time to a plantation during slavery with no understanding of how you got there or how you can get back home. This is essentially what happens on the TV show Kindred. A character named Dana is mysteriously transported back and forth from present-day modern times to a plantation during the slavery era. I think it's worth mentioning that the TV show Kindred is based off of a book. And while I haven't read the book, I was able to read up on the plot summary of the book, and after watching the series, I think it's safe to say that the book seemed a lot more interesting than the series. Now when I saw the first episode of Kindred, I thought that the show had much promise. I mean, it's essentially Back to the Future meets 12 Years a Slave. And there are some unique rules for time traveling on the show, as well as how time works for people in the past versus in the present. But the longer I watched the series, the harder it was for me to root for the main character Dana. In my opinion, some of her actions and the way that she interacts with some of the past and present characters made her one of the most unlikable characters on the show for me. But by the end of the season, I had come to the realization that Dana was a huge liability to anybody she encountered, and that she caused most of these people more harm than good. Now I know that I might get some kickback from the fans of the show, but hear me out for a moment. The show quickly established that Dana is a 26-year-old, which is definitely old enough for somebody like Dana to have seen the TV show Roots, participate in some Black History project, or have some general knowledge for what life was like for blacks during slavery. I bring these things up because when Dana is transported back to slavery times, she acts completely clueless about everything, and she has no sense of self-preservation. And I would give Dana some leeway if she had been sheltered her entire life, or if she had some type of mental health diagnosis, but none of that was established on the show. And as a result, Dana's actions when taken back to the plantation not only put herself in harm's way on multiple occasions, but they also made the lives of the slaves harder than they had to be. Dana also developed the notion that she needed to help the slaves that were on the plantation, but she aims to do this without knowing much about the plantation culture, without getting to know the slaves that she aims to help, and without having a plan of making a meaningful difference during the time traveling. She does have her own set of issues which stem from her losing her parents as a child, but that's got absolutely nothing to do with the price of tea in China. Now early on in the show, Dana encounters a man named Kevin, who is a harmless guy who takes interest in Dana only after knowing her for less than an hour. In my opinion, Kevin took one good look at Dana and decided right then and there that he wanted to give her that good old pickle tickle. But Dana accidentally brings Kevin along for the time traveling journey, and going back in time doesn't sit well with Kevin, because he has to play the role of a slave master, and he had to witness how life was like for slaves during that time. You see folks, the initial time traveling experience haunted Kevin, and while Kevin knew that Dana was cursed with having to go back to that horrible place time and time again, he still wanted to help her, just by not going back there. So what does Dana do? She forces Kevin to go back to the plantation with her, and this was done because she didn't want to be there alone. Now how selfish is that? By this time in the show, Dana understands the rules for time travel, and how she could instantly come back to the present whenever she wanted to do so. And the one thing Kevin made Dana promise him was that she would not travel back to the present without him. And this is understandable, because a day in the present would be like several months in the past. But Dana accidentally breaks her promise because she failed to think rationally and logically about her actions while on the plantation. And to be honest, when the slave master beat Dana, I had absolutely no sympathy for her. Because at that time in the series, Dana had already gotten some of the slaves hurt, killed, sold off, and starved, all because she did what she felt was right instead of listening to Kevin and her allies. There's so much to discuss about the show, but just know that I wasn't a fan of Dana's antics. But this marks the end of the video. Have you seen the TV show Kindred yet? And if so, What did you think about it? Feel free to leave your comments below in the comment section, and I'll be sure to reply to everybody. Until next time, stay tuned and stay safe. Peace.